finally caught up. Finally. Seriously, today has been crazy. So much fucking anime, manga. My god. It's just so much in one day. Like, seriously, half the entire week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and somewhat Thursday is dead. And then you get into Friday, and then, you know, tomorrow, Saturday, so much comes out all at once. Like, all this anime, like 4 or 5 anime comes out just at one specific time, and it's just like, oh my god. So, I finally caught up with this episode of Nisekoi Season 2. I have caught up with the anime reviews for today. So, let's talk about it. With this episode of Nisekoi, we get introduced to Chitoge's mother. In first impressions, she is scary. Scary. Oh, she's fucking scary. Like, she is so scary. That mother is all about time and schedule. You don't follow that schedule, you're getting bitch slapped. That's how that mother was in this episode. I'm like, whoa. So, time is in fact not money. Huh, that's the first time I heard that one. Time is not money, because you can't buy time. So, Chitoge's mother, that's what this episode was. Introducing her character and giving her characterization and getting to find out more about her, find out more about Chitoge's characterization, especially when it comes to her ribbon, and get to see if the mother is going to accept Raku as a boyfriend into their family. And I feel like the way this is going down in this episode, that the mother, Chitoge's mother, is kind of, I guess, setting up this, like, ruse where she can manipulate Raku and Chitoge and all of them, and she's just trying to see if Raku is worthy of being Chitoge's boyfriend. I think that's what's really going on in this episode of Nisekoi, because it's obvious that she hasn't forgotten about her daughter. Like, that's what the episode is trying to make us believe. Like, if you walk into this episode and don't look at certain things, it makes us believe that the mother is kind of a bad mother. She puts her job in front of her child, which I can't disagree with that. She definitely does after seeing this episode. And also, she forgot about her daughter's, you know, ribbon. She bought her daughter and asked her to get rid of that in this episode. So you can assume she's kind of a bad mother, but I don't think she has necessarily forgotten, because when it comes to the episode, there was a specific scene in this episode that hints that she doesn't have that bad of a memory, especially when it comes to terms with Chitoge, because she remembers Raku. Like, she has an inner monologue in her mind. It's like, oh, this is the boy you met 10 years ago. Like, she says that quick moment dialogue in this episode, and you can assume she remembers 10 years ago, so it makes me assume she also knows, you know, the ribbon, like, you know, about Chitoge's ribbon. I feel like she's setting this up to where she could figure out the true personality of Chitoge's boyfriend. I think that's what she's really trying to do, trying to test him and see if he's worthy enough, if he can deal with pressure and all this different type of pressure that is going on. But regardless of that, the episode, I enjoyed it. Like, I enjoyed the episode a lot more than actually last week's episode, which is shocking. I enjoyed last week's episode, but I enjoyed this episode a lot more because it was just very interesting getting to find out more about Chitoge and Chitoge's family and her mother in general, and to see a little bit of drama starting to build up in this episode. And like I already said, I already pointed out, it's very obvious that the mother is doing something here. She's manipulating Raku and Chitoge, and she's probably going to eventually put aside her work just for her child. But at the moment, it just seems like she's just setting everything up. And that's what it's trying to make it look like. Trying to make it look like she is the bad guy. Animation-wise, when it came to this episode, animation was on point. Standard Shaft, as always. They have those sparkly backgrounds. Oh my fucking god, the sparkles are intense. And Nisekoi, it's so intense with the sparkles. Like, the sparkles are so freaking crazy. It's like all over the background. You see everything just glittery and sparkly. It's God, like, if you weren't used to Shaft, and this is your first anime seeing for Shaft, you'd be like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, what is with this anime studio and all the glitter and, you know, sparkles? Shaft is known for this. They love doing those weird-ass backgrounds, especially with how the sparkles are done, colorful backgrounds and stuff like that. So I've enjoyed the animation of this episode, standard Shaft, making it all wacky and bizarre, and just, you know, that Shaft style. When it came to, I guess, the art and animation, like I said, is good. Music placement, for the most part, I didn't really notice much of the music when I was watching the episode. Like, majority of the music I didn't really care for when I was sitting down watching this episode, which is kind of a bad thing. And I guess it's the only thing bad when it came to this episode of Nisekoi. The music just didn't really hit home to me when it came to specific scenes. So that's about it. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about this week's episode of Nisekoi? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.